Hello there. Okie dokie. So today I am going to make a bag for a picnic blanket. Now, yeah, fold it up however you're comfortable with your picnic blanket. I'm going to go for sort of little amount. I know, and it might stay like that, it might not. Suddenly spring out. You need a zip that I suppose is at least half of it, because otherwise you're not going to be able to get it in and out very easily. And you're going to need a chosen medium. I know, I'm sticking with the PVC. So, this is just literally builder's PVC. When they're making a house, before they put the tiles on, they put this through. So you can use anything you like. Yeah, just because I am doesn't mean anything. I just wanted to use it. You know, like I can go into a craft shop like the best of them and I can spend loads of money. But I think I like the idea of, you know, being able to do things not on the cheap, so that they're cheaply made, but, you know. Yes. So all I'm doing now is fighting with it to make a circle. So slightly bigger than you need. And I've made two, because two is needed. And then I'm going to make a tube which is slightly bigger again than I need. Now, because this is actually going to be quite plain and boring, what I have is I have some piping that I can put around the joins. This isn't necessary at all, this is just a Fiona thing. So the zip. There we go. Now, it's really up to you. If you do the zip halfway and then don't sew the rest, just leave it like that, then I'm going to recommend, this is literally a jelly roll. I bought the fabric and then I bought a bit more just to do some jelly rolls with it. Yeah, it's difficult, isn't it? When the weather's hot, you don't really want to be sort of stuck in sewing. So, okay, all I'm doing here is I'm literally making two triangles. Okay, I'm going to sew that together, turn it the right way around, and then I'm going to sew it on the end of the cut of the zip with another piece of jelly roll. I'm going to sew enough piping to do once around the bottom, once around the top, and then once down the side. Okay, which is nearly a whole strip, it's just a bit off. And I'm going to do my piping with a zipper foot. So, I know, although I could do it with a normal foot if I wanted, and string, although the thicker the better, and obviously my jelly roll. So I'm going to place my string halfway through there and place it underneath the machine. Now what I'm also going to do is I'm going to sew it on a bit, just because I've had problems before where I've made my piping and then I've pulled my string out, and the string just does give it a bit of quality, a bit of depth, so very nice to do. So there we go, and then it's nice and firm. I can put my foot down, and literally the foot will hold the string over and in place, and yeah, it all, I want to say it sews itself, but is a sort of easy bit about this, you know, that once you've mastered it, it's quite a delight to do. So, and it's going to make a horrible noise if it stays over the string. Now, depending on the thickness of your string and also the fabric you're using, you know, obviously this is quite thick, this is quite good quality, so I can't actually see the string. I can still feel the string, and I'm just going to keep an eye on it that way. So, yeah, of course, the piping is completely not necessary. It's just, I wanted to add something, and I could, and you know, I was aware that I needed to make some form of at least strapping to finish this off. Okay, so I am getting towards the end in my own time, yeah. The next job to do is literally that triangle, and I'm going to do that before I lose it. Because we all know what it's like, you know, we put something under the machine and then it literally just gets whooshed on the floor. So, there we are. Just check my machine up again. Now, yes, I am using white thread on the top and black thread on the bottom. There is a logic to this. There is a point where you've got too many colours that you can't choose colours, and then you just choose white. You know, that's the default colour. Now, okay, there is a lot of colours, but I could have chosen black because there is black running through all of it as well. There's also if you're doing anything food related or bedding related, then you choose white, you know. So it really is up to you. If you're doing small stitches, they're less visible than if you're doing big stitches. I don't know. Or you can just use whatever in the machine. I don't know. I feel like I'm preaching to the choir at the minute. Alright, so I've done my triangle, and I'm going to turn it inside out. I'm just going to use the end of my scissors to get that point there. And then I'm literally going to use 2 fingers to push it in. And if it's difficult, I'll use a pin. Yeah, so there we are. I've got my triangle all folded over. I think I'm going to use this side rather than that side, but no reason. Okay. So what I've got here is I've got literally the end of that zip, and I've put flat, and then the tucked in bits that are not sewn I am placing under my fabric. Now you can see that it literally is quite warm in here, so you know, this is not the ideal temperature to do anything like this. If you are doing oil skin or anything like that, then I strongly would recommend either putting it in the fridge, he's going on today, because that works quite well, or there is a special type of roller foot as well. So, you know, there's lots of different answers to the question. Okay. Alright, it usually makes that noise for me when it's running out of bobbin thread, so yeah, I can always come back to it. Yeah, okay. So that's all you need to do. You need to sew around that triangle and it will stop your plastic from ripping. I know, how bizarre. So let's get this sorted. Yeah, when it clumps up like that, it's normally a tension at the top rather than tension at the bottom. So, you know, just be warned. Okay. Try and get as much as it out before, and then, it, you know, just try and get as much out, really. And check my bobbin, which is going to go very soon, so, yeah. Funny old machine today, but I can forgive it. So what I've done is I've got rid of most of my thread. I think what might be nice to do is just let it sew some normal thread for a minute. Oh, it did that yeah, no, it's got no reason to complain. Okay, so the next job I think is to sew the triangle on. You can have another little go with that, and then sew the zip on. Now the zip's going to be fine, and we've got a zipper foot on there already, although we don't need to worry if we haven't got a zipper foot, because the advantage is that we can see, and that's yeah, the plus side of doing this. So that's on properly now. Let's cut that thread. Now, did I push it on the floor? Oh yes, I did. So here we are, we have the plastic on the outside, we have the zipper facing upward. We're going to place it under the machine. Boo, boo, boo. I'm going to open the zip at least halfway, and I can put a couple of pins in there if I want to. And then I'm going to ask the machine nicely to start sewing. So I'm going to pull it through a bit so I can grip it. Now, as you can see, I'm using the zipper foot the wrong way. This is so that I can prove to you that you don't really need a zipper foot. I don't like that sort of, no. So yes, we're literally just sewing along the edge there, making sure we've got the plastic and that we've got the zip. Yeah. Now I'm going to sew up to my triangle. I might as well cross over on the triangle. This will just give it more strength, and that's what the whole triangle thing is about. Okay, making sure that I haven't got my next bit in a sort of bad position. A couple more stitches, stopping, lifting it up, turning, and then I can either trim it so it's good, or I can come back to it and trim it. Yeah. Yeah. Okay, so now coming up to a good halfway point, leave the needle down, lift the foot up, whee! It's always easier the first time. And there we are. Okay, easy, isn't it? Now, the circle. So we've got one of our ends here. This is the underside. And we've got our circle. And we do want it so that we've got right sides together, isn't it? Of course it's right sides together. I don't even know why I was faffing then. And we have our nice piece of piping. So I'm still got the excess string in it. I have seen no reason to take it out yet. And I'm going to have right side up piping right side down. Okay, so there we are. I'm going to place it in the sewing machine. Now when I'm doing these turny bits, I always like to have the long piece facing out. Yeah, and then move the smaller piece or the curvy piece. So I've got the machine sort of sewing, making sure that I've got my piping in a nice position and that I'm slowly turning the circle round. And I have two of these circles, obviously one's for the top. And there we go. Okay, I'm going to get this piping finished before I go on to the next stage. Hello there. So I'm not 100% sure where I left you last time. All I remember was the sun was beating on the window and every time I touched the polythene it would stick to my arm. And I did want to show you how easy it was to sew with this stuff. So I'm just sewing on my base and my top with my piping. And yeah, sew a little bit, wiggle a little bit, nothing really. Make sure you join your ends up. Makes life a bit easier, and make sure you don't pull your string out of your piping. Okay, so I've sewn round a circle on right back at the beginning now. A bit knotted up in my cotton there. So what I need to do now is just trim this. There's nothing else you can do. Yeah, it just needs tidying up. So, trimming away, careful not to cut into any stitches, and I'm actually using very sharp little scissors rather than big ones. So, okay, so I'm round at the beginning now, and I can go over that in my own time. Now, it's still inside out. And I need to sew the long seam up, so. And then I need to put the actual blanket in there. And that's going to be a jog and a bit. So what I'm going to do is I'm literally, this time I've just got 2 layers of plastic. I'm going to sew up to the zip. And I'm going to sew onto the zip, so that makes it just a little bit stronger. And then I'm going to open the zip so I can turn it inside out. Now I left the zip deliberately closed back then because I wanted to give it some rigidity. And coming around the other side, and literally from the top down to the zip. So get it all sorted as much as we can before we start. Another change I've made is rather than using generic thread, I'm actually using branded thread now. I know it would be wrong of me to blame the thread, but I don't know, I seem happier with the new roll. And even with expensive thread, I do find that every now and again you'll get a dud roll. Yeah. Okay, so other than a few loose ends, I can then open the zip the rest of the way and then turn it inside out so my piping looks nice and jolly. I am going to get rid of those threads. I just always worry that when I'm dealing with a zip, that I might get it caught in the zip. So, you know, and it's just infuriating if you've gone to any trouble sewing anything and then to have, well, I suppose a little misdemeanour at the end. It's a bit of a nightmare, really. So, there we go. Just pop that out. And oh, this is going to be tricky. So I'm going to roll it up as small as I can. And I think with sleeping bags and stuff that it's best to put the loose ends in first. So I'm going to put all the corner in, and then this bit's quite smooth. And then it's just a matter of pushing or pulling and trying not to pop any seams, and then it all should just pop in there. So it's not the easiest design to actually work with, but you know, it's what I want. And when all is said and done, the customer is always right. And as the customer is me today, then yeah. Now what I'm doing now is I never did trim the plastic around the zip. So there we go. Because I can't see the zip at the minute. There we are. And there's my zip. So I have got a very unique, I didn't intend for the zip to be on the slant there, but I like it. I like it a lot. A very unique picnic blanket, ready for this beautiful weather. Alright, well, I hope you found something in this video that you like. My name's Fiona from Weekly Sewing Bee, and please like, subscribe and share. Thank you ever so much for watching.